Do New Year's resolutions leave you feeling stressed or discouraged? If you're a parent of a uniquely wired child, you know it's not about just checking things off a to-do list. It's about growing, learning, and adapting to what really matters. In this episode, I'm sharing a fresh approach, a simple tool that will guide you, motivate you, and keep you moving forward without the added pressure. Think of it as your parenting compass, helping you navigate the challenges with a sense of calm and purpose. Curious? Well, tune in and let's start the year with intention. Let's make this year the one where you thrive together. Welcome to Calm Connection Parenting. I'm your host, Jamie Kirkbride, mom of 7, parenting coach, professional counselor, and wrangler of big emotions. If you're raising a highly sensitive child with intense emotions or challenging behaviors and wondering if you'll make it through without losing your mind, you're not alone. Around here, we're all about real-life parenting, sprinkled with a little humor and a whole lot of patience. So grab your coffee, trust me, you'll need it, and join me as we explore tips, stories, and faith-based strategies to help you bring more calm and confidence into your chaotic days. Let's do this. As we wrap up the holiday season and step into the new year ahead, many of us find ourselves just reflecting on what's working in our lives and parenting and what is not. It's natural to want to make some adjustments and maybe even identify some things that have to change, especially when it comes to parenting our high-need and uniquely wired children. But let's be honest, this reflection can sometimes feel overwhelming or discouraging if we get stuck in the analysis without a clear path forward. As parents of highly sensitive, emotionally intense, or behaviorally challenging kids, the start of a new year is the perfect time to evaluate what we've been doing, where we've been, and what's especially important, where we want to be. It's not just about making resolutions or quick fixes, though. It's about making meaningful, sustainable changes in how we parent, how we relate to our child, and ultimately, how we grow together as a family. So today, I would like to propose a way to both assess where you are and where you want to be, while incorporating a powerful tool that can actually help you get there. We'll be diving into a method that I personally have used, and I have seen it work for many parents like you. Something simple, yet effective. And it's all about making intentional, focused progress this coming year. So let's just go ahead and jump right in. What do you think when I mention New Year's resolutions? Well, the simple words can evoke some emotion and expectation. Unfortunately, they're often phrased in the negative rather than the positive. I'm going to quit doing this, or I'm no longer going to be a part of, or I'm going to stop. I personally have a love-hate relationship with New Year's resolutions, but I would love to show you what I do instead by picking a word for the year that can actually change your life. Now, the problem with New Year's resolutions is that they're oftentimes cloaked in expectations and cause us to look at the things we're tired of being or doing rather than focusing on the person we want to become. Resolutions can be kept or broken, but there's little to no room for the process of growth. What if our approach to the new year included thoughts about who we were created to be, or the process in which we are shaped and transformed through growth and just a new focus and approach to things? Let's take a quick look at some stats. It's estimated, according to a 2021 Finder survey, that 188.9 million adult Americans, which is nearly 74% of the population, said they wanted to make a lifestyle change, learn something new, or make a goal to better themselves in the coming year. And I think it's important to know that self-improvement and family both fell within the top 5 categories. Hats off to the millennials who were identified in this survey as the second most driven to make the resolutions or goals. That was at 88.6%. Additionally, they are among the most optimistic in keeping them, 78.16%. Gen X is close behind, though, 78.6% in making them and 72.48% in keeping them. So no matter where you fall, you have reason to think, plan, and achieve. What did the Finder survey identify as the resolution roadblocks? Lack of control and letting it slip your mind were the 2 most common excuses for failing to achieve a past resolution or goal. Consequently, this is something to keep in mind as you think through key steps to achieve your goals this coming year. Now, I know the idea of New Year's resolutions can often feel like a huge weight, especially if they don't seem to last past January. That's why I'm super excited to share this different way of thinking about the year ahead. I know, they're kind of like those sneaky New Year's resolutions. It's true, I have to admit it. I've pretty much all of my life dreaded resolutions for many reasons. It seems they kind of sneak up on you right after the holidays. It's like you're busy from October on with holiday preparations and excitement, and then all of a sudden, as the party is being cleaned up on New Year's Eve, I would realize I hadn't even thought about my New Year's resolutions, and they were supposed to start right then and there. I know many of you are much more organized and probably better prepared, and I admire that. But for me, they snuck up on me every year. So right away, I dreaded waking up on day 1, feeling as though I was already behind, missing the start of something new, and failing from the get-go. And I don't know about you, but I'm internally competitive, and I like to be ahead of the game, not behind. So my motivation for change or excitement to gain momentum was quickly and easily squashed. As I'd structure new perspectives and resolutions, I would inevitably get the sense of failure or disappointment from the year prior and would struggle to head into the new year with an increase in motivation or an I can attitude. So, limping a bit in courage and optimism, I'd take off for those new goals that were supposed to get me moving in the right direction. But oftentimes, post-holidays, it ended up feeling like an abrupt end to a happy season with some harsh judgments on myself and maybe even some unrealistic expectations of myself. And within days, I would feel like my expectations had already fallen short again. And the result was continued discouragement and failure. And I couldn't really understand why these New Year's resolutions were so appealing to so many. So a few years back, I decided to change my approach. I decided to choose a word for the year that would serve as my focus, my guide, and my checkpoint. If I could relate back to this one word, it would help me keep direction and work with diligence to keep growing and becoming the person God intended me to be. I've been fascinated by this process and how it really has spurred me on to growth and has become quite meaningful. And I'm excited to share with you how you can do the same. There truly is power in words. And I know that through one small word, you can experience a change in your life or specifically in your parenting as well. Now, you might be wondering, well, how do you go about choosing your word for the year? A word that has such power to focus, guide, and change a life. Well, I'm guessing that each personality might have a system that they would feel works best for them. Some may go with one that just sounds fun, exciting, or inspiring. Some might feel determined and decisive about a particular word without much thought. Then others may need a little direction or a process to help them in choosing such a significant word. And others might honestly just wait until the very last minute and then ask someone to tell them which word they should choose. No matter how you do it, I am confident that choosing a word for the year can help you remain more focused in parenting, motivated in your growing, and determined to make changes this coming year. So if you aren't already sure of a word for you, let's break it down into a few easy steps. Often, I like to use those short and easy to remember acronyms to help you walk away with your next easy steps and action points. So today, I'm using the simple acronym ACT, A-C-T, to help you take action and set things in motion for a fresh start in the new year. So A is for assess. No matter where you want to end up, it's always worthwhile to take time and look at where you are. This step of self-evaluation is key to making change. Unfortunately, it's where a lot of people end up getting stuck, disheartened, or maybe even give up. It can be hard to acknowledge areas you're struggling and not get overwhelmed, evaluating what it will take to get where you want to be. Surprisingly, this part of the process is essential. So remind yourself that assessing is but a short step in the process. It's not the whole process. You're just taking a snapshot of where you are now and where you want to be. So I encourage you to take some time to reflect. I highly encourage you to spend some time with a paper and pen and write out some of your responses to the following questions. These can honestly help you take inventory of where you are and where you want to be. Now, it might feel like there are some repeats in here, but that is okay. Try to answer each question well, even if you feel like you're saying it again. Even then, that can be helpful later. So it's okay to write down repeat thoughts or ideas. There's no right or wrong answers. And you can write lists of answers. You can write long responses. You can even journal your responses. Whatever helps your thoughts flow freely. You might even want to listen clear through this podcast and then rewind or revisit and go back to the points where you can pause and answer the important questions as you go. You can set a timer and get started with the process. So maybe take 2 minutes to answer questions like the following. What do I need more of? What do I need less of? Is there something I need to reduce or eliminate? And write those answers out. Then set another timer, take a couple minutes, and answer, what is my common emotion or feeling? And how do I want to feel? And journal and answer those responses. Then set another timer for 2 more minutes and answer questions like this. Do I have a sense of purpose for what God has called me to do as a parent for this child with extra and unique needs? Are there things that are holding me back? If so, what are they? And answer those questions.
finally set that timer again for the last couple. What will it take to make progress in this area? And how willing am I to work at this goal? Now think about those things that you just answered, and I encourage you to spend some quiet time reflecting, praying, meditating, and searching for those things that resonate in your responses. Pay attention to the feelings and the thoughts that come to mind, even jotting them down as they come to you. Write down any additional words or insights as you go. And you don't have to feel like it has to be really detailed or perfect or edited. Just write down random thoughts and words as they occur to you. Sometimes unedited is the very best work you can do at this stage. And you might even be surprised at what comes. Then go back through your responses and circle, highlight, or find any themes that stick out to you. Were there words that repeated or stood out or just simply really resonated with you? Now, in just a moment, we're going to continue with the rest of our ACT, A-C-T acronym. But first, I would like to share this.
Are your child's emotions and challenging behaviors pushing you to the edge? You're not alone. From constant struggles to emotional outbursts, it's easy to feel like you're just one step away from chaos. But what if I told you there's a better way? In the Calm Connection program, you'll get access to a video course, workbooks, and a supportive community to learn practical, faith-based strategies for handling even the toughest of behaviors. But the best part, you get weekly coaching calls with me, where we can explore your child or family's specific struggles and work together for some solutions. If you're tired of trying methods that just don't work, or you feel like you don't have time to add one more thing to your plate, don't worry. This program was designed to fit into a busy parent's life and give you real solutions with some quick wins too. Ready to take the first step toward a calmer home? Visit calmconnectionparent.com and learn more about the Calm Connection coaching program. You've got this, and I'm here to support you.
Okay, we've covered A, which is for assess. Now we move on to C, which is commit, to choose with confidence. I want to encourage you to take some time to just start brainstorming, which is simply free thinking to begin the process of choosing your word. And again, don't edit or worry about spelling or details. Just start writing the words that come to mind. Doesn't matter if it's goofy, crazy, ridiculous, just write it down as the words come to you. After this process, and only after, since your list will most closely relate to the questions you just answered, then you can look at the list of ideas for a word for the year. In fact, I even provide this long list of words in the Parenting with Personality Facebook group online. So come join us there to get your copy of that word list. Once you've made a prospective word list and looked through some of the ideas on the word of the year list, narrow it down. Start circling and highlighting 3 to 5 words that stand out to you. Find your favorites and don't take too long to do this. Trust your gut. You've put some great thought in already, and you've soul searched to get to this point. So trust yourself and the guidance you may have already felt in the process. Then write your list of 3 to 5 words and read them over a few times. Do you see any last themes that emerge here? Sometimes I found that a couple kind of fit within one of the other words, so it might not jump out until you hit this point. Maybe you had written down bold and courage, and you realize that when you possess courage, you are able to be bold. Or maybe you had written happiness and joy, and after further reflecting, you realize that happiness may be fleeting, but joy is something more steadfast despite circumstances. Looking at the situation assessing what you have, what you need, and where you're going can both inspire and sometimes even overwhelm, and that's normal. Unfortunately, this is where many people stop. This feeling can truly both motivate and debilitate, but you get to decide. I encourage you to let it motivate you to the next step. Let it burn a little in your soul as you imagine what could be different on the other side of achieving this. It might even help to walk through some very detailed imagery of what your life would and could be like when you achieve it. And that can be exciting. Take some time to imagine all the things you might see or hear and enjoy if you were to use these key steps to achieve your goal of this word in the coming year. And as you commit to your word or goal, you might ask yourself some of these questions. What will it take to get there? How much time will I commit each week to make this happen? How will I evaluate if I'm on track? What will I do if I find myself getting off track? Who are two people that could help support or hold you accountable to the goal? Are you willing to determine a 3, 6, and 9-month check on how you're doing? What reminders can you put in your path? And how will you celebrate meeting or achieving this goal? Of course, everyone's level of commitment will look different based on your personality and perhaps how much you really want to achieve what you've identified as your word or goal. I encourage you to look for ways that you can have consistent and fun reminders of your goal along the way. Then confidently make your choice. Find that one word that grabs you. Now remember, you've thought about it, you've reflected on it, you've prayed about it, and now you have this word in hand. Does it scare you? Sometimes change can bring about a little bit of fear or anxiety. Does it make you feel any excitement? There might be a little flicker of bring it on. Are you simply interested or wholeheartedly committed to it? Having a little interest isn't going to be enough. Find the word that you can truly commit to, then make it yours. Once you've chosen your word, consider sharing it with a friend or joining a group of like-minded parents where you can check in and encourage each other along the way. It is so easy to just keep doing life, but lose all aspects of being intentional in what we're doing, pursuing, or learning. And that thought leads us to T, transform. And in order to transform, we have to take action on your commitment. So again, we have assess, we have C, commit, and T, transform. Yes, action is where the rubber meets the road, and action is so important. That's why I chose the acronym for this concept to be ACT. Too often, we assess or we think we've taken the proper steps to commit, only to find that at this point, we've unfortunately fizzled on the idea, the motivation, or even the follow-through. But let's change that. As you consider ways to help you follow through and take action, you might ask yourself, what do I need to move that one step ahead? Breaking it down into smaller, more achievable actions and tasks can help you make better progress in the long run. Do you have any limiting beliefs that you might need to change? Believing that you don't have the ability, money, resources, talent, all of those things can stunt your progress. And hey, there's a good podcast you might look up, podcast 8, titled From Stuck to Strong, if you need help out in that area. How can I change that limiting belief into something that inspires hope, growth, or change? I am learning to. You might say to yourself, I'm finding resources that, or I will see how God provides. Next, what step will I take this week to move that one step closer? breaking it down to just that next best step. Do you have a way to measure the success you're making? Will you journal or check in with anyone to keep track and be accountable? Can you declare your goal or word in a way that will both motivate you and keep you on course? Making it known to others can help you hold yourself accountable to your stated goal. Spend some time thinking these things through, and journaling out your thoughts and answers will help you be more invested so that you can make the change and truly begin transforming. Now, remember the survey I mentioned earlier? It noted that letting goals or resolutions slip your mind was one of the top reasons people failed. So let's plan 3 different ways that your word will show up consistently for you. In the past, I've bought a mug or a bracelet to be a reminder for me. I've decorated a plain white index card to be a very cheap yet fun reminder. I've used quotes or verses that included that word posted in my work area. These were simple reminders that could appear often to keep me focused and on target. Nope, we're not going to let it slip your mind. And it won't be enough to just sit on that word quietly and hope that it changes your life. How will you incorporate your word into your life? You will want frequent, fun reminders to help keep you on task, stay focused, and remain motivated. So here's just a few quick ideas on how you might embrace your word this coming year. You might decorate that index card like I had done and then post it in a prominent spot in your home. Maybe write the word in lipstick on your bathroom mirror. Post a laminated or waterproof copy of your word in the shower. Isn't that where we often do our best thinking? Keep an eye open for items that have your word. Like I said, a bracelet, a picture, a book, a necklace. Share your word with friends over a luncheon where you can encourage them to do the same. You can even share this podcast to help them break down the process of finding their word. Find some sort of decor that has your word incorporated and buy it to put in your home. Have a family meeting where each person chooses their own word. We do that every year. Even the kiddos all pick their word for the year. Find others who have chosen a word and communicate through the year about how the word is affecting their life. Check in on each other. Approach each day with your word in mind and how that word will be lived out that very day. You might read books that relate to your word. You might do a word study on your word. You could place reminders in your child's space so that they start seeing how this word impacts the whole family. Seek feedback from others in your life about the word you chose and how you might grow in that process. Revisit the word throughout the year, emphasizing how it helps shape decisions, responses, and actions as both a parent and a growing individual. Change is possible, but it takes true focus. All sorts of words have power in our thoughts to affect our moods, change our choices, and cause us to do or not do certain things. If we take control of those words, what might change? And what if a targeted word can be an instant reset? This is it. Some of my past words included joy, inspire, intention, and clarity. I don't know what word you might choose, but I do know that getting some inspiration and motivation might help you get started on the right foot, and that a little buy-in might make you more committed. So don't forget, you can see the word list when you join the Parenting with Personality Facebook group online and when you download the free Parenting with Personality app. Or just send me a message and request it, and I'll send it your way. I know what it's like to finish the year feeling like you're kind of crawling to the finish line. It's been a tough year, and I've heard countless other people say the same. I've seen some struggling parents, and I have seen some parents who have grown and flourished through their struggles. Sometimes the outcome isn't a perfect situation, but an excellent approach. When we learn how to gain perspective, shift the focus, and adopt new strategies, we can accomplish life-changing things. I encourage you, think about your role as a parent as you finish out this year and step into the new one. What are your parenting goals and changes you want to make? Spend time reflecting and planning your course of action for the coming year. Maybe you need the connection you can find in the online Parenting with Personality Facebook group. It might be that you need more resources, parent education, or just some clarity for the special needs and issues that you see your child struggling with. Or perhaps you know that you need some in-depth coaching to help walk through the issues, sort through the struggles, and find new strategies to help your child. I'd invite you to check out the special New Year's deals offered now through Parenting with Personality. There are many different resources and coaching packages that might be helpful to you. So I encourage you to visit calmconnectionparent.com/resource to learn about several that are available to you right now. And I also want to encourage you to check out calmconnectionparent.com/sale to see the special New Year's deals made available as my gift to you for making change in the coming year. Next year at this time, you could be in a very different place. And your approach to the new year is your first step in the right direction. I encourage you to invest in the gift that keeps on giving. The health of your family relationships affect you, your child, your family, and generations that follow. Indeed, it's a gift that can keep on giving for years to come. Well, are you ready for action? To step out and act. You've heard the 3 simple steps: assess, commit, and transform. These steps can make this year different, more intentional, and aligned with the growth and progress you're looking for in your parenting journey with a high-need child. Whether you choose a word like peace, courage, or grace, choosing a powerful word can become your guiding light throughout the year. And remember, it's not about perfection, it's about the progress. Celebrating the small wins as you grow together with your highly sensitive, emotionally intense, or behaviorally challenging child. Celebrate those wins. And go ahead, grab that paper and pen and start reflecting. What's your word going to be this year? As you embark on this journey, know that you're not alone. Let's make 2025 the year where you thrive, where you build the connections and create the family dynamics and relationships you've always desired. Remember, it's not about just checking things off a to-do list. It's about growing, learning, and adapting to what really matters in your parenting journey. Your newly chosen word for the year can guide you, motivate you, and keep you moving forward. Yes, it can be your parenting compass, helping you navigate the challenges with a sense of calm and purpose as you parent your uniquely wired child. Let's step into this new year with action and intention. And I want you to remember, I'm here to help and support you in that journey.
Thanks for hanging out with me today. Just remember, you've got this. And on the days you don't, well, we're in this together. Take a deep breath and keep building those heart-to-heart connections. If you found this episode helpful, please share it with a friend who might need it too. And don't forget to connect with us at parentingwithpersonality.com or in our Parenting with Personality Facebook support group. We'd love to continue supporting you there. Until next time, keep calm and parent on.